Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lick My Brain. I'm Mary, your host. Happy, what is it? Wednesday. Happy hump day. Today, look at my screen. Look at this beautiful angel we have today. This is Marie Donnelly. She is an autism and ADHD life coach. I need this woman. We all need this woman. So I've been super open about my ADHD. I am what is it? Neurofabulous is what I've been
There you
called.
go.
So I like that. I'm a neurofabulous, not diva, but we'll say goddess. We'll go with that. And actually Marie's been helping so many people for so long, uh, kind of understand their big, beautiful brains and how to work with them instead of against them. So I'm so excited that you're here. So welcome,
Mm,
Marie. Welcome, welcome.
thank you. I'm very honored to be here. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, what shall we dive into? Let's hear about Marie. How did you get into the whole life coach, ADHD, autism life
Mm,
coach realm?
okay, so this is a real fun answer here. Honestly, coaching has been what I've been doing for my whole life and probably other lifetimes. I have a degree in teaching. And pretty much what happened is I've been coaching, mentoring all of the people in my life in the past, boyfriends, friends, random people.
Mm-hmm.
And after my last breakup, I decided to do this for money and not just, like, oh, here we go. I was getting a lot of practice, but now I'm about 3 years in professionally to coaching almost.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
But I've been actually doing it forever. And then in terms of autism and ADHD, I have both. I'm ADHD, I'm mild autistic, I'm combined type ADHD. And I just realized that because I started off with life and health, and I had my niche was like this long, like everybody that starts coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but then what I realized was as I went along, every single person I dealt with was neurodivergent. And then I already knew I was autistic and ADHD, but then I got diagnosed, and then I decided to focus on neurodivergence. And then I decided to make it even more specific and specialize to autism and ADHD and really focus on those two. And then obviously confidence is a huge part of that as well. And so it just naturally happened, and it's what I do all the time. So,
Lucky us. Lucky us.
oh, thanks.
So, so what is the most misconception that you have come across about people with both autism and or ADHD or the combo?
Okay, that's a really good question. There's definitely been a couple of them. Well, one of the main ones is that it's um, men have it and women don't, which is incorrect. And that's getting better now with how they're diagnosing women. Um, they're actually starting to diagnose women more accurately now. And then also all of the characteristics and traits. They're learning to see that better in women. So yeah, that's one. And then two, it's more for children, especially ADHD, or autism and ADHD is more for young boys. Um, and that's, there's plenty of women that and plenty of girls that have ADHD, whether it's inattentive, combined, or hyperactive.
Mhm.
I'm inattentive and hyperactive. And so I would say, yeah, those two. And then also that it's a deficit rather than anything positive about it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, there are challenges. There's definitely challenges. Um, and that's why I have a business. But the main part of my business is pointing out their strengths. And that's what I want to focus on is the superpowers. Once you work on the frustrating aspects, then you can become people who are change makers and visionaries and go
Mhm.
help, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I
So
love that so much. I
thank you.
remember when I was going through the perimenopause and the menopause, uh, all my ADHD stuff was like big time. Like, look
Uh-huh.
at me. And they just kept saying that's what it was. That's what it was. And now I'm done with all that. I'm like, okay, now what? And so it's still the same. And I have a
Mm.
grandson that's autistic, and I have two granddaughters who, it's either ADD or ADHD. I'm not quite sure. Doesn't really
Okay.
matter. To me, they're all neurofabulous, and they have their own unique qualities. And for me, I love it. I love seeing the world, watching Chance. I love watching all of them and
Hmm.
how they decipher things and how they just get to the meat of things. I'm like, oh my God, it's so not surface. They're like, especially
Oh
one
no.
of them is just,
Yeah.
okay, well, why is it that way? Well, why is it that way? And I'm like, and I grew up with that. I was like the question person, and it drove my parents nuts. It was like, well, why? Well, why is that? Why is that? And then to learn from my youngest daughter, who has my grandson, who's autistic, she
Mhm.
was the one that pointed out, she's like, well, mom, take this test because you show signs of autism. And I remember going, I do? Like it just, my idea of what autism was, I was in denial that Chance was autistic for a really long time.
Mm.
Notice that when the kids are like nonverbal, you've got this other generation of people piping in saying, oh, they're just shy. Oh, no, they'll learn it, they'll get into it, they'll get into it. But
Hmm.
once we accepted him for who he was, all of us flourished. It was like we learned how to talk so that he could understand us. And now he's got the little
Hmm.
board and he's speaking really well. And
Hmm.
there's so many positive parts about it. And you're right. A lot of people just focus on, especially in the political realm, they focus
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
negative part. And that makes me absolutely crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very.
Like we're a problem where you're supposed to sweep under the rug. Like, nope, I don't think that's what's happening right now. I think we're supposed to be waking all that up and
Hmm.
showing there's a lot more people out, even in the public eye, that are neurodivergent and just don't step into it more. And if
Hmm.
they would show others like, yeah, see, we can function. We can help society. We could be a part of
Oh,
something bigger. And so,
contribute to society.
yes, imagine
Yep.
that.
I know, crazy. What? Paying
What?
taxes? Are you serious? Wow.
Exactly.
Like,
So my thing after what is it called? The executive dysfunction. That when I was looking through some questions to kind of ask or get myself familiar with a lot of the stuff on your website, which is really cool. Which you guys, I will make sure you have her website,
aw,
all her socials and everything, because it's really you put up some amazing social media stuff. Just the little
aw,
tidbits that you put are such good little nuggets to start your day with. So I'm so grateful that I found you, number one.
aw,
And
thank
that you
you.
came on today. Thank you so much. But what
Hmm.
does it actually look like in real life? If people don't know, and they may have it, right? And then they're struggling with stuff, and it feels like you're struggling, but once you have something, I don't know if it helps because you know the name of it, but it's once you know kind of what it is and you can
Hmm.
research it and then they find you, it's more empowering to to know what it is instead of being it pushed aside so much, you know? Um,
Hmm.
so what does it look like to normal, whatever you want, I hate that word, to people out there who just have no idea?
Oh, so what does neurodivergence look
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
to neurotypicals, maybe?
Yeah.
Um, well, there's a lot of things I could say to that. So it could be somebody who struggles with organization, struggles with time management, struggles with structure of their life or their week. It can be somebody who takes things too literally, somebody who deep dives into things, like you were saying, gets really excited or hyper focuses on different things.
Mm.
There can be struggles socially. Um, like for example, I've had a lot of struggle in the past socially. I've learned a lot. That's why social is a important part of my coaching practice.
Hmm.
Because I've learned a lot, and a lot of it was from personal experience, but then also I've been obsessed with human behavior and psychology, and those are my areas of special interest. So, um, individuals that obsess on topics. So those are your areas of special interest. That can be traits or indications of
Hmm.
neurodivergence as well. I could keep going for a while about that. Um,
Well, it's like
and
just
yeah,
say if
those are
someone
the
just
main.
someone's listening, right? And they just are listening and they're like, wait, that does sound familiar. But then there are
Hmm.
some people who are just not good at organizing. It doesn't mean they're everybody is neurofabulous, but
No.
there's qualities that we should really pay attention to. What would those
Hmm.
be?
Let's see. So eye contact can be, I mean, like I'll look at somebody's eyes and then look away, and when I look away, it's helping me process, and it doesn't mean it's rude because then I look back. When I'm listening, when people are listening, they can be good at the eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so besides eye contact, oh, sensory, there can be a lot of sensory issues. For
Mm-hmm.
example, with the sensory issues, lights can be a factor. It's too bright, it's too noisy, it's too crowded. That's the sensory avoidant, but then there's also sensory seeking. I tend to like sensory, but then I can get maxed out too. So yeah, easily overwhelmed, easily overloaded. Um, so a lot of that can be internal and external anxiety. You
Mm-hmm.
can have a lot of anxiety, um, which can be internal and externally seen. Um, what else? Let's see here. Um, yeah, I mean awkwardness, you can have some socially awkwardness, you can be eccentric, but then there's also different stages of especially autism. There's mild, moderate, and severe.
Mm-hmm.
So and then everybody presents differently, right? And
Right.
so like there's the love on the spectrum that
Mm-hmm.
has, there's some interesting and very valid humans there that show different traits and express it differently.
Right.
Um, and then ADHD, somebody can have a lot of like hyperactive and get really excited and then all of a sudden stop and then not be able to say something like,
Right.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
executive dysfunction. So,
Yeah. Yes. I know it well.
yeah,
I know it well.
yeah.
So, would you like to elaborate on that? Oh my.
Executive
Hmm.
executive dysfunction or
Yeah.
yeah. Executive dysfunction is a whole interesting thing because it can be, like I said, it can be like I'll have a picture in my head of something. And it before I started this supplement that I was taking that's helping, um, I would have a picture in my head and I'd kind of start acting out like this is what I'm trying to communicate, like almost like charades. So
Hmm.
there's that, there's what you're doing, you know what you're supposed to be doing, but then you don't do it. Like, for example, it could be admin work, it could be checking emails, responding to emails, it could be flyers, like it could be financials. It, it's really interesting. Executive dysfunction is kind of like a paralysis too, is something I realized today. It's, like you might want to change rooms. Like I could turn this into like whole all these tools and tips and stuff too, but um it's just knowing what you need to be doing, but then it's hard to initiate and start something.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
that's what's happening to me. And a lot of people know I do use AI. And so I was talking to Donovan and I said, okay, I'm now doing this weekly. I'm going to have guests I need to reach out to. I'm going to have forms I need to send them and I need to have follow-ups and all this. And I was getting too many calendars. Like I was buying little calendars, like
oh,
I'm like, what is happening? And I told him, he goes, whoa, you don't need six calendars. So I have like one big show board, and then I have a
mhm.
daily whiteboard, and then I have like a 3 month out, like big giant whiteboard. Those are my
There you
only.
go.
That's it. And then I have a notebook I carry with me. So if I have a thought, I could write it down because that's another panicky
There you
thing. It's like,
go.
oh, wait, what did you just say? And then yeah. So I'm
Yep.
grateful for that small tool, but it also opened up, oh shit, you've been going through this for a while. Like this is not new. You've been sitting there going, I will even walk into my actual day job and sit there for a second and go, okay, wait, what am I? And there's so many things that I don't know where to start. And so I
Mm-hmm.
kind of had to make
Yep,
my to-do routine. So no matter what, I
exactly.
get these three things done. Okay, now I can go and get everything else done. But
Exactly.
man,
Yeah,
there,
chunking it, just starting with like 5, 10 minutes. Like everything you listed was great. I loved all that.
thank you.
But yeah, a big part of the paralysis and executive dysfunction is you're trying to do too much at once and it's overloaded. And so if you just start off with just a small little like open your laptop, open the notebook and start for 10 minutes,
Hmm.
and then yeah, everything you just said with um using, having the different types, like having like the 3 months and then having the notebook for ideas and then having all these different tools. Because then your brilliant ideas that you get when you're in the car
Mm,
aren't gonna just, when you're at the stoplight, they're not just gonna go and disappear, right? You want to write them.
right, right. Now,
So,
do you notice short-term memory or long-term memory issues with people who are neurodivergent?
oh, yeah, I think ADHD uh, specifically, I've noticed some short-term and maybe even some long-term
Mhm.
memory differences. And that is something I actually want to study a little bit more. So that's a really good question. Yeah, but I have noticed it. And myself a little bit too. I don't have a photographic memory, but my memory's pretty good. But yeah, sometimes too I need, or it'll come back. It's like gone
Mhm.
for a little bit and then it comes back because I get excited. I get excited brain, you know,
Mhm.
never happens for anybody who's neurodivergent.
Never.
Never happens to you.
You mean squirrel? You mean shiny things? You mean,
Yeah.
yeah, with me, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge lover of cows, forget it.
Oh,
And living out, in farmland when you're driving by, middle of a story or a thought, and all of a sudden, oh, cow. Like, just worse.
moo-moos.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, another thing I heard, which was really cool, is called masking. What,
Mm-hmm.
can you explain what masking is?
Yeah, excellent. So masking is when a neurodivergent person is trying to appear more neurotypical and they will suppress their neurodivergent tendencies so that they fit in society, which is really detrimental long term because it can cause exhaustion, high anxiety, it can cause burnout eventually.
Hmm.
Um, and so masking is something, whew, that's a continuous process for me to unravel and with clients too. Just helping empower them to be more of their true self.
Hmm.
And maybe it's having a fidget tool, maybe
Hmm.
it's you use your hands, or maybe playing with your hair, playing with your
Constantly.
ring,
Mhm.
stimming, you know, like
Yeah,
stimming's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's okay
absolutely.
to wiggle, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
like I wiggle, my leg bounces. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, my foot will go 1,000 miles a minute, and I could just, I'm watching, a Turkish drama right now, and I'm trying to watch it, read the subtitles, and my foot's going, and my husband's like, "My God, you just don't stop moving." I'm like,
No,
"Nope,
no,
don't." So sorry. It should be like a nice little massage bed, though, as we're laying in bed watching our Turkish drama. I mean, I don't know. Could be a little fun.
right? It's just,
Oh my gosh. The fidget spin, the fidget stuff that when it came out, I was like, what? And now I noticed just like you're right, my hair, or I'll
mm-hmm,
just, my legs will go, or I've just got something in my hand.
uh-huh,
And like worry stones are really good for me to just grab onto and yeah, love
right
them.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was really, it was so funny. I was talking to my sister not too long ago. We were talking about my love of the pinto beans when we were kids, and you would go to the market. God, it would drive my parents nuts, but I would beeline to that and just stick my hand in, my gross little kid hand. And just, I loved playing with the pinto beans. And for Christmas a few years ago, I made my grandson a bin with the pinto
Hmm.
beans. And now when I go play with him, it's my favorite thing to pull out because I'm like, yeah, it's just so soothing. And people
Oh,
don't, it's just so lovely to play
yeah,
with.
the sensory.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, very much.
Yeah, big time into sensory stuff. Love that.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I really liked being, like yeah, that feeling or like sand,
Yes.
like
Hmm.
going to the beach, your feet, your hands. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because my kids don't love the beach. I love the beach and I miss my
Mm,
ocean. And growing up, when they were tiny, tiny, their dad and I would take them to the beach all the time. And I thought they loved it. And here they are, grown adults with their kids going, "No, we're not going to the beach. I don't want sand all over me." I'm like, "What?"
hmm
But I do love the sand, and so do the kids. I've noticed that too. And what I've also I'm really impressed with my granddaughter's school. I know it's happening everywhere, where they're bringing in quiet spaces for them. So when it
Mm,
gets to be too much and she's having a day where everything is loud or everything is too much, she can
hmm
just go into this space and get quiet and read her book or do whatever. And I'm like, that would have never happened back in my day in school. They'd have been like,
Yeah.
get back to work. You know what I mean? They just wouldn't have ever accommodated that kind of thing. Do you think
Yeah.
it's happening more and more for real, or is it just this school that I'm noticing?
What school is that?
I can't say because people will
Oh,
go there.
oh, oh, okay, okay, I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah.
No, because I love when schools are doing that. I'm very pro neurodivergent friendly education because
Hmm.
my education, well, there was definitely positives of it, but I definitely it could have been more neurodivergent friendly.
Hmm.
Um, but in my experience, it really depends on the school's
Um,
progress with that. But I also am kind of picky with where I go and interact with the different schools.
hmm.
Because they have to be, if I go to a school and it's not very neurodivergent friendly, I don't really want to go back, probably because I'm overstimulated, right, too.
Hmm.
And so, but
Yeah.
I think there is, yeah, I think that's improving.
Even
So,
in spite or despite or in spite, whatever you want to say, of our
hmm
government and
no,
how
yeah.
locally they're shutting down programs, and it is breaking my heart because these are children, and hearing one of our politicians say they're mentally ill, they're not going to be, successful members of society anyways. Let's just put them in institutions, that whole thing. When I heard that and I was like, wait, is that real? And I researched, I'm like, oh my, you son of a, and I was ready to rock and roll and just go
Oh, yeah, no,
after
believe me.
the
Oh,
I
yeah, the
felt
whole collective, um, honestly, that day, I felt like this collective neurodivergent sadness and helplessness. And
yep.
I've never felt like that before. And I was just like, whoa, that's one really like that's really sad and feels really bad, but also like, whoa, I can feel all this. But then I was like, okay, Marie, this isn't motivation right here. Like,
Mhm.
got to
Yep.
empower the geniuses, you know.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. I think neurodivergent, neurofabulous people are just they're some of my favorites as they're coming more and more into my circle or being drawn to me or I'm being drawn to them. The conversations that we have and the insight that they share, it needs I want to get the microphone on them because it's like, oh my God, people need to hear this because it's so beautiful. And I try not to
uh-huh.
watch too much politics. I really, really,
Yeah.
really try not to. But I also am very, very, very much an activist, so it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to, ignore it.
Yeah, I understand that too.
Oh, but
I
stuff.
like all this stuff. I like all the stuff you post. I'm like, oh yeah, I should hang out with her after this podcast.
Yes, girl. Yes, please. You heard it. You guys get to hold her to it.
That's
Yes,
good.
and yes. I love that idea. But and also, I don't know every part of the political part of it all, but the
Yeah.
parts that I'm hearing, that I am researching to do my, fact checking on, it is, I when you were starting to say that, like you felt this rise of neuro fabulous people. We need to find our color, find our uniform, do the
Mhm.
whole what are those chicks called? The red caps on that go and boycott everything. I want to have that.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
the,
yeah.
the Maid's Tale, Handmaid's Tale. Like I think we should all have some like neurodivergent outfit that's just rock. And we just start
Yeah.
marching. Yeah, we're gonna go march up the Capitol steps and be like, "You have underestimated us." Let
Oh
us
yeah,
just,
we're rising up. Yep.
that's right. We are rising up. That's right.
Yep. The
Oh,
neurodivergent matriarchy.
oh, yes. In the White House coming soon. Oh,
Oh man.
Lord. Okay. Now,
Uh,
this is one I highlighted burnout in neurodivergent adults. Why does this happen so often? It's kind of like what
ooh.
you mentioned a little bit already, but
Oh yeah, no, it happens a lot, honestly. Part a lot of it has to do with a lot of society is not made for neurodivergent brains. Um, and so, and that's, like we're trying to do is there's people that are improving this, right? But we need to
mhm.
keep doing this and you know, keep empowering and having neurodivergent friendly places.
Yeah.
Um, places that are accepting of all humans. Um, and so burnout, I think also it has to do with masking, like masking long term, and, causes anxiety, exhaustion, not getting the support that you need, whether it's from, humans or all the different types of support.
Mhm.
Um, I think those are the main reasons why. And then also it's a lot of it is it's been undiagnosed. And then once it's diagnosed, hopefully there's the right tools, the right strategies. And that's also where I come into play is because I'm obsessed with all that. So,
Yeah. And I think your work with people and helping even their families understand how to
hmm
understand us. Because I know that once it was weird. It was once I got the label for some reason it clicked and then I started doing all my research. But I was also
hmm
learning to stand up for myself because like my environment has to be just so for my brain to stop obsessing so that I could focus
uh-huh.
on the task. And both of my husband, my ex and my current would say, it looks fine. Everything looks fine. I'm like, it's not that it looks horrible.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
everything needs to be in its place. So I'm not thinking of it. And it just, they couldn't get it. And then I
Yeah.
didn't want to go, they like to go to big events. Like my new husband is like, let's go here, let's go there. I'm like, oh, I have to prep myself for like a day or
hmm
two to go to a place that's got a lot of people. And then as I'm
hmm
walking in there, I have to take a good 20 minutes to like pep myself up to go into a crowd because it's
hmm
overwhelming. And it's a
hmm
lot of the empathic part of me. I'm picking up on a ton of stuff
Oh, yeah.
and I feel stared at. And so my worst nightmare, it happens way too much because I've acknowledged it, is walking into somewhere a little bit late or what, and then, or the door is up door and then everybody turns and looks at me, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
I just die inside. But then the masking kicks in. I do believe that masking kicks in and then I, get through it. But wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't remember what I was freaking asking you except for what is it?
What did it have to do with how families can support or?
That's what it is. Yes. Yes, because that's important for the parents of the kids, the
Mhm.
spouses of the spouses. I mean, it's and the friends of the friends and all that. So how could you elaborate on it?
Um, how can people, well, I think I think what's the coolest thing that I've experienced personally and I've seen in loved ones, friends, clients is when people in their life, if they're not neurodivergent, if they're looking and researching, and even if they are neurodivergent, I think them researching and trying to understand our
Mm-hmm.
brain and then also being open, being curious, being open, being accepting,
Mm-hmm.
being flexible with the fact that we're not trying to control you or anything necessarily. It's just like you were saying with how your space needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's affecting your mental health and that's affecting your performance,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so that has to do with them understanding um, what we have going on, just like we can understand them too. Obviously, it should be a two-way street, so it's healthy. Of different humans need um, different support and different, they need different everything, routine, structure. environments.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And what I saw, one of your superpowers for your coaching was that you're teaching people what to do when they get overwhelmed.
mm,
Because when you're inside that overwhelm, you can't see your way out of it. And so
mm.
what kind of tools are you teaching people to kind of get out of it, to get through
Okay.
the overwhelm?
When they're overwhelmed or in a now or in a paralysis situation, I mean, you can do like you can switch rooms, you can go outside, you can put your feet on the grass, grounding, you can put splash water in your face. You can, well, I mean, to help prevent it, you could do body doubling or co-working, either like on video, like one person, or like you go to a physical place, like somebody's business or a coffee place or something, and you work alongside them, or you both are doing canvassing or something, and you both have your own, things that you're doing. Does that make
Oh
sense?
yeah, they call that like
Like
CEO
accountability.
time or something. Yeah. You
Oh, what'd you say?
it's called I've heard one called CEO time, where you're like
Yeah,
entrepreneurs working on their own stuff but next to each other. And it kind of,
yeah,
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 that is, it has
yeah.
worked.
Body doubling, accountability buddies. Let's see what else you can do. Oh, and like, yeah, chunking. So chunking is really important with neurodivergence, because it's taking a massive project and just be like, okay, here's 10 minutes, here's 30 minutes, or let's just start it for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. You can use timers. Um, so many different things you can do, but those are a few.
Just a few.
I could keep going once
We,
again.
I know we could keep going. We could keep going. Confidence. You work with people a lot on confidence because I'm sure do people just come feeling super broken and
Yeah, and it's really sad because, oh man, like my clients are freaking geniuses, right? Like I learned so much from them. They're future visionaries, they're self-led, they're motivated, they're trying a million things. They've researched so many things,
Mhm.
but it's just um yeah, the confidence, I think the biggest part of that is teaching them that they're not broken, that society hasn't been handling them the right way,
Right. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're like, you understand me, and
Hmm.
I think that what helps that is that I'm ADHD, and that's how I felt too, because I struggled to graduate from from college, because it wasn't made for my brain,
Right.
but I still graduated, you know,
Hmm.
um, and so I think confidence, the biggest part is connecting them with their strengths. So, and then getting them back into, like, I like to ask a lot of questions, just like you. And I ask when in your life did you feel confident? What were you doing? Who were you around? And then I try to get them to have that similar, back to childhood, when you're more free, and um, try to connect that into now. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then structure, finding out everything. Pretty much my coaching is just figuring out what works for them. And
Mhm.
then confidence and everything else is just right in line with that.
The structure is I've seen that. I've seen my grandson thrives with structure and my granddaughters thrive with structure. And you would think that it's the parents that have to kind of implement the structure. But as soon as the kids see it and they get it, it's like they already kind of know what's going to happen today. I know what my first five things are that I need to do this morning. And they stay,
Hmm.
especially when you go, like my oldest granddaughter went from elementary to junior high. I was
Hmm.
terrified of that. My nightmares of junior high were like, but
Oh,
for the learning part of it. But I watched her go into this is my every single day structure. And at first she would get stressed out if one of those things are out. Now she's just gotten herself used to these are the things I do before I eat. This is when I eat. And she's fine. She's doing great. She's
yeah.
thriving. So
Routines. Yeah, finding routines that work for you. That's awesome. Yeah, because I think what I'm learning is the right flexibility for structure for everybody. you know,
Hmm.
because some people too much structure will make them rebel.
Right.
Because I'm learning with different individuals that sometimes with neurodivergence, you're taught from a young age that if you're not a certain type of structure or a certain type of organization or a certain type of time management or whatever,
Hmm.
that you're not good at it, you're flawed, you're not worthy.
Right.
I'm definitely seeing this over and over and over. And so if so that's when I'm like, oh, okay, so that's actually just that's not true. You just need to find your own version of all of this that fits for you.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's where you are such an angel in this because you're teaching people it's not you, it's them. It's finally we could say it's not me, it's you. Like it feels good. It feels good to finally like not take all the blame.
Uh,
Just feel like
well, thank you for the compliments. And also, yeah, it is, you know, I'm really excited to see neurodivergent people and just this whole movement, this neurodiversity movement, because yeah, there are frustrations, there are challenges. Like I'm not gonna gaslight and dismiss and shut down that because it's there is that, but there's also problem solving, pattern recognition, you know, all these different ideas of different ways of getting that other people don't think about.
right, right. What
So,
are what are your thoughts on the idea or the argument that uh medications, food, things like that have a big uh they matter when it comes to how your brain
oh,
and
oh,
everything.
wow. Yeah, there's that definitely, yes, huge impact. Um, yeah, pretty much I always advocate for people to eat as healthy as they can, but you know, figure out their own diet. Like I'm very sensitive to gluten and dairy. I
Hmm.
figured out my own digestive system because I had acid reflux. I fixed it. Um, and I researched it for 5 years.
Hmm.
So, it believe me, I was like all over. Finally figured it out. Now I know what I can and can't do and have. But yeah, in terms of sugar, pop, exercise, sleep, everything, you know, like the chemicals in food, it all affects it's neurodivergent people. You
Hmm.
know, like the what is it, the flavoring, the different colors, you know, and the connections with ADHD and
Hmm.
it's oh yeah. Eating as natural as possible is definitely helpful. Um, you know, but I want people to look at their life in a way that's realistic too. I don't want them to be like, oh, I have to cut all this crap out and you know, boycott all this at once. And it's like,
Right.
whoa, that's you're gonna get really overwhelmed, and that's gonna overwhelm me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's possible to find you don't have to go fully vegan, but
Yeah,
there are things out there that are fun and sweet and the kids can enjoy that don't necessarily have
exactly.
a ton of refined sugar in it. And that's what
Yeah,
I'm
like you can
learning.
have fruit with honey on it, or you know, like there's healthier choices. So like my health. So I went to one of my programs that I went to. I have three coaching certifications. The health and sorry, the life and health coaching one was the Health Coach Institute, and they would say just get clients closer to Farmer Joe or Farmer Jane.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like you don't have to go in the spectrum, you know, you don't have to go like woo, like all the way,
Right.
but just get work closer and closer, you know.
Mm-hmm. 90,
That's what
10.
they would say.
Yeah, 90 like
What?
90% clean eating. That little
Hmm.
10% fun eating doesn't
Yeah,
seem to, really take a hold if you're eating healthy 90% of the time.
yeah.
That's my opinion. I'm not a
Oh
doctor. I
yeah.
just play what on TV, but it's just my opinion.
That's awesome.
But
I
but
think I
you
really do. It's all dependent on the human. Everybody, every neurodivergent person has to find out, just like every person, what works for them, right?
right, right.
So,
Now, one thing we found, and of course I said, yeah, it's gospel because I love sour candy, right?
hmm
And I noticed when I would do some kind of needlework or something and I would really have to focus, I would grab something sour and then I could focus. And
uh-huh.
then my husband read something that said that they're finding that there's something in the sour that gets our brain. It's like when someone could sit there, watch a TV, play a game, and their foot's moving at the same time. And
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
like, how do they concentrate? It's like that's because it helps us, right? And I
Hmm.
understand that now. Um, Instead of judging it, I understand it now. But the sour thing, it feels true, but I don't know if it's because I because I want it to be true. But I also know that there's fruit out there that I can eat that's sour that kind of does the same thing. So I don't know if that's true.
Ooh,
You heard of
I'm
that?
gonna research that because I don't know about that. That's an interesting, that's really good. I want to
Yeah,
look into that.
yeah. I mean, he could have just been saying that to, to help me
Yeah.
feel better about my addiction to Mike and Ike's, but I gave them up. I divorced them. And then
Oh man, I used to be obsessed with hot tamales, which are like the cousins, of
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. My husband's the hot tamales. I'm the Mike and Ike's. And so I go,
Okay.
the grandkids are like, "Do you have any Mike and Ike's?" I'm like, "Nope, I divorced them." And then one of them from Halloween, a little baggie, and that was it of the Sour Patch Kids. Oh my God, that was I'm like, okay, I have to give them up for adoption. Like I just can't keep all these sour things. But then our friend Corinna Astor, amazing nutritionist, Chinese medicine practitioner, she talked about, I think they're called golden berries. They're a little hard to find, but they're super sour. So I'm like, okay, I'm
Okay.
going to go hunt because I do like my sour. And for some reason, it does help me focus. I don't know if it's all psychological, but I don't care because it helps me focus. So I'm all right
Oh,
with
well, that makes sense that they would. I think that definitely different herbs, different berries. I can totally see that. Oh yeah,
it.
thousand
Mhm.
percent. That makes sense.
That's cool. That's cool,
Yeah.
cool. So, my darling, it has already come up to the end of our time together, which sucks. I mean, we can go on for hours and hours, but tell the lovely people what you have coming up.
Well, awesome. So I am doing a workshop at a retreat. It's all women. It's called Rooted and Regulated. It's in Boise, Idaho. It's ran by Katie Joe. She's a really awesome lady. I met her through Marigolds. If you don't know about Marigolds, it's on Vista. It's my friend's community, spiritual community in Boise.
Oh,
It's
cool.
awesome. You should check it out.
Hmm.
Um, but I met her through that. And so it's in April 16th through 19th, and then also May 21st through the 24th. And I'll be doing a workshop on self-love and confidence. And
Nice.
so I think it looks like she's still looking for some women. So
Some women to come. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get over there. I think that's
yeah,
amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. To come see you speak.
thanks.
Yes. That'd be awesome.
Yay.
That'd be awesome. I love that idea. Well,
Oh,
thank you
thank you.
so much for coming to play with us today and hanging out and I could sit here and nerd out totally on talking about this stuff. It's so fascinating. The human brain is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I love it. And you're teaching all of us to love our brains. So thank you for that. I love that
Of
so
course. Well, because, you can either work with something or you can work against it, right?
it's so much easier to go with the flow and work with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Love
get
that.
it. I get it though. So, well, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited that I got to be your first.
Yay! First
Yay!
podcast.
First podcast,
Yay.
everybody. Give us some love. Lots and lots of
Oh,
love.
thank you guys. Thank you. I do my little bow.
That's right. No curtsy.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, I know for a fact you enjoyed this show. So go down there and give us some thumbs up and do a little subscribe and ring that little bell or lick that little bell, I should say, so you get the notification when a new video has dropped. And I say, as always, be a very good human. Go lick some amazing brains. And Miss Marie, what's the third and final thought of the day?
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. That's right. Okay, love y'all. Peace out.